No, but there's a warning now. Today, the shiur, the concept is talking about a lot of Kabbalah, and there's a lot of unusual type of language concept, not really usually talk about a lot of Kabbalah. So we'll take it very slow. So go back again to page Kufay. Page Kufay, beginning of the Maim we started, brought from the Pirush Sefer Dismiss of R'Dovid Olidort. It didn't watch, the spirits did not relate to each other face to face. Said like this: that who was not Mashiach? Keser im Atiferes. Chugo im Afstikim in name, gam chug ba'atzim lo yoponim b'chon. We brought in a new thing, that there are two ways the spheres operate. There's Zetach Hazeh and there's Gimel Kavin. In the way of Gimel Kavin, what's the word Kavin? Not lines, three flows. So in the way of Kavin, three flows. Yeah, Smiley mean an emtza. In that way, Keser goes directly to Tiferes. Because remember, those we will talk about it, but in the the Ben spheres are described in Kabbalah. We are in our Chassidus language, it's always Chabad, Chagas, Nehid. But in the Kabbalah, most of the time it's not Chabad, it's Kahab. Das is not counted. But he'll talk about Das later. But the Chlau, Keser Chachma Bina, Chesed Gvura Tiferes, and that's how you say. So if it's in three Kavin, Keser goes directly to Tiferes.
David, there is a static that comes and goes. I mean, something is. And also, if you can speak directly to the mic, that would be better.
Okay, but it's too low. You can't hear me.
We hear you, but there was a static. It's a noise that's coming and going every few seconds.
Okay, 1 second. Let's see. 1 second. What is this? Sorry. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. All right. So when you have the three floors or three Kavin, Keser Tiferes Yisoid is the middle. That's Kavin Tzoy. And on the right side is Chesed. It's Chochma Chachan. Chochma Chesed Netzach. And the left side is Baga, Bina Gvura Hoit. So in that tzio, in that description, Keser flows directly into Tiferes. That's the way. That's called Kavin, Gimel Kavin. Then there's Zetach Hazeh. Zetach Hazeh is Keser Chochma Bina Chesed Gvura. Tiferes. So he says, Sefer Tznius said that in Toihu there was no carving. The Mele, the way Kesser reached Tiferes, there was an efsek between. The efsek means there was Chesed and Gvur in between. A Chachma, Bina, Chesed, Gvur. There's a whole efsek between them. That's number one. That's number one. He describes the way there is hefsek. Then he says another point, and Chesed Gvur Guf also. He says loy ponim upon. This is what it says in Pirush Arizal. So in what you learned till now, pshat. What's pshat in all this? It says hefsek means that it's a memutza. That in Kesser reaches Tiferet to the memutza to it's milubesh Kesser milabesh and Bina is milabesh and Zoh. Well, there's a mamutza, there's a hefsek, lavush. So he said, what's the difference between the way it is in Tik and the way it is in Toyu? So in Tik, Einik v'na kawana elyon. So basically, the hefsek is a stronger hefsek than the way it is in Toyu it's a stronger hefsek than the way it is in Tik. In Tikkun, the efsek is in order to reach should be covered, which means it's colorless. Hashem can tell you it's in a way that there is efsek. So let's go again, page Kufhei, 4 lines on the bottom. When Mela move on, the last word, the 4th line from the bottom. When Mela move on, we talk about Toyu, the efsek al yesa arbe, meaning establishes the tikkun. The way that the hefsek of the spheres, the way one sphere is the spheres of Chesed, the sphere of Chesed and Gvur is mafsik between Chesed and Tiferes is more than tikkun. Shom mikol maken mishachar v'agil. That in the olam tikkun, there's stuck a hefsek, but through the hefsek there's nimshachar v'agil. The hefsek is just like a memutza machaber. מש קודם כמאחד כשהמייך מסתבר שם בזוב, אני משך מזל למאח, אז הגיל אין יש מקומי פני זו מצדץ. Means that there's a special flow of the oil that reaches the low madrigas to the higher madrigas, to the middle madrigas. But Toya is a place after Mamish ain't a mere of difference. So this is how he explains what it says in the Pirush Sefer Arizal, Sefer Tznius, that in Toyu there was a hefsek b'nei, that the intermediate madrigas of Chesed and Gvur blocked the higher madrigas. I am a shekosav a part of Sharal Perek Beis. So in part it says that two sheyesh beis madrigas tiferes beis madrigas. In Pardas Rimainim explains that in Kesser the two in Tiferes the two madrigas. Alo k'ma shepon esrachim pshutim ma'anim miskal z'chesed Gvur. There's a level of Tiferes which is rachim pshutim shel ma'anim miskal z'chesed Gvur, pure abstract rachamim, pure feeling of rachamim. Tiferes is rachamim, feeling of mercy, which is above even reaching the Chesed Gvur. Base, I'm sorry. Tiferes mekabel pesach kesel. That madriga, that description of Tiferes, that it's racham shutim shel ma'alim miskalus. That is the way Tiferes mekabel from kesel. Our base k'mashkel Chesed Gvur. And the second level, the lower level of Tiferes, that is kel Chesed Gvur. So two levels in Tiferes. One that it's mekabel directly from kesel, and one that's kel Chesed Gvur. Yesh loymar, the efsek, the Chesed Gvur got pchina out. So that's the meaning that Chesed Gvura, the Chesed Gvura is mafsik. That means that the Bchina Al, which is the Rachim Pshutim, which is a Maila Chesed Gvura. Chesed Gvura is mafsik, it blocks that level of Chesed. What does it mean? He says, to explain it in the language of Sidus, what are these two Ifanim and Tiferes mean? Which is a base mina iskalos. The two levels of iskalos, the two levels of when Tiferes are kill one the other, combined. So Aleph Masha Seivlim Zeze. That's a concept we learned in other places also. The two ways, the interaction between the spheres, just like between people, can be two ways. One is just they tolerate each other. The easiest way to talk about is about when people get together. I mean, there's a concept that they fight, but that's not what we're talking about. They get together, they get along, they mix, they combine. But it says the two states, the two totally different states, the way they relate to each other. One is called Seivlim Zeh, the lost. They just tolerate each other. You tolerate the other. You're different. You don't really want anything to do with them, but you tolerate. But the higher level is Mekablim Zem. They actually receive one from the other. Not only that, that's a Lashon Psukim. That they are so combined with each other that the one cannot, you can't even see who was the end of the beginning. They unite very strong. So the second type of skalos, the second type of combination did not exist in Toyu. Toyu, I mean, look, in other places it says that they didn't tolerate each other either. But here now in this Maimar, he doesn't go that far. It just says that in Toyu, it's like the second type, the combination. The Mele, that explains what he said earlier, that in Toyu, Tiferes, there was Lamaila Miskal, the food, which means there was no combination. The Chesed Gvura did not combine with each other; they just tolerated. That's how I explain it. So that took care of the first. Took care to a degree of the first expression in the Pirush Arizal Sefer Desnis. He says that in Toyu, Chesed Gvura, Mafsikim, they separated between Kesser and Tiferes. The male, which explains a little bit, which means there was a lack of iskalos. The Tiferes didn't have the iskalos, it only had sovlus. So that's what Chesed Gvura did when they get to the Amshach of Kesser and Tiferes. With another line we just read in the beginning of this Maimah, there's another thing that happened to you. One thing is that Chesed Gvura separated between Kesser and Tiferes. But the other thing was that Chesed Gvura themselves did not interact with Panim B'Panim. What does that mean? He says, Omnom, in them period, the Pirush Arizal of Sefer Desnis, there's another. He says another point. Makes another point. The spheres that tell you when we talk about the spheres that tell you, Ika b'zayin tachtenes, can gam sabina. He says spheres that tell you talk about the law 7 from Chesed to Malchus, and Chembina, it will also be what happened. Loi oyalam sheish ba'atika kaddish. That these spheres did not have a shiur, did not have a root in the madrega of Atik. Kibchinas Atik, that's what it says. Kibchinas Atik, v'gam hachma kolam chesachim pshutim, because Atik and Chachma, but Atik, which is tiny, and Chachma, which is wisdom, kolam b'chinas rachim pshutim. Over there, the rachmin is in an abstract way, in a plain way. Was feels the doyu or you dinim gemuri. Mashen can feel the doyu, or the opposite of the rachmin, the dinim, means they were judgment. Al kein loylam shosh v'achiza ba'ativ gam loy b'chach. L'chein lo yishgichu apin ba'apin, because they did not, the Tzivos of Torah in a state of din, which means judgment. They didn't have any connection to Atik and Chachma. This is why they didn't watch each other face to face. The concept of Hashgachas Panim B'Panim means that you shine in a mashpia. כאשר לא יש שם בעתיק הקדיש, לא ישגיח בהם פנים ופנים להשפיע בהם. החכמה לא ישגיח בבין הפנים ופנים להשפיע. So all this is are like statements and concepts in Kabbalah, which later we're gonna develop hopefully a better understanding what it means. In the meantime, we have to keep in mind these two things. So first, they explained what it means that the kesef was massive. Now explain what does it mean that the spheres themselves, the interaction with panim b'panim. We are talking about spheres of Toyu, because they didn't have. The point is dinim gemurim. They were in a state of pure judgment and didn't have any connection to Atik Kadisha and Chachma, which is the source of Rachmin, not Din, the level of mercy and relation and Ashpa. So basically, the Atik did not mayor in the spheres in the way of Panim. So that's called dini. According to this, again, we're not talking yet another. It's just first we put all these madrigas into place, and then later we will talk about what all these things mean. So the reason that dinim, the spheres, which is Chesed Gvur, did not watch each other face to face, because they were the way of dinim gvuros, be'etzem mus. Dinim gvuros, judgment is the opposite of hashpah. Yishgiach panim v'panim means they mashpia. First, because they don't have the hashpah from Atik and Chachma in a way of panim v'panim, so then the spheres themselves also not mashpia. But zel gamkin sivas appeared vayesh and shabbos spheres of Torah. And also, because the din, so number one, there was not shpah to each other, and also there was spirit v'yeshes. There was separation and ego. Because the gvurs is the judgment is really always the cause of separation and yeshes. Because we're going to tell the masva ve'ikhalech chol isa mishnayos. In Balis. Like I said before, we have there's a lot of Kabbalah concepts here. You're not used to really, but he quoted a few important points in that shtickle Kabbalah that will hopefully later have a better understanding. But we do keep in mind what he said, that the whole thing, the law upon him is because it's all dinim gvus, dinim gmurim. It's not rachman, but din. But love is there, so now we'll try to love is this. They have to understand what all this means. And also, mao inish le'mashashim ba'at. What does it mean that this fear is loyal mashashim ba'at? Batik kadish. Shlovin tchil in a masculine mao. So first you take a step back. We have to go back to the beginning of the Bible before. Over there, he quoted the page Tzadik Zayin. He quoted Sefer Tzniasa. Ad lo yahav masculine. It describes what is Elam Atoyu. Ad lo yahav masculine. Before the scale came into being. Masculine is a scale, mishkal. This whole thing of, so it describes Elam Atikin as a scale, and Ad lo yahav masculine means before the creation of Elam Atikin. So it describes Elam Atikin as a scale. So let's go back a step back to see what this concept means. Love in a mouth, in a masculine mouth. So now he describes in a masculine mishkal. Masculine is meloshin, like I said, mishkal, a scale. It means a raya, beka mishkal. Says in Parsha Chayesor, vayika chayish nezem zov beka mishkal. Says the Targum uncle is takla maskeli. Takla means a shekel, maskeli means mishkol. So mishkol means is weight, is the way you measure it, the scale. In an ad lo yahav maskela. So now he explains what does it mean lo yahav maskela. Apipashto shaloi hoya mishkal medida beifna mishachas. That before Elam Atikan, in Elam Atoyu, there was no mishkal medida. There was no weight and measurement in the way the earth of Toyu were nimsha. Kanoida, the betoyu ribe shloif mesnida mish. That's what the other language always used about Toyu. Toyu is earth merubim b'kelim mot. What does earth merubim mean? That the earth of Toyu are too strong. They're not measured. They're not weighed. They're just, it's like an explosion. It's above measurement. Loi hoyu b'pnes mida mishka. Agam the earth of Toyu. Agam came. Right, it says a kash. It's a kash. How can you say that the earth of Toyu loi b'mida mishka? The earth of Toyu gam kenim shachem ha'kav. The way Kabbalah describes everything is the shtalshelus. There is the tzimtzum, then there's the Amshachas HaKav. And the Kav, the earth of Toyu, of the earth of Kav, from Kav, the earth of Nimshach and Toyu. What does Kav mean? Kav is a ruler. Kav, who Kav Hamida. Kav is described as something that's measured. It's measured, it's limited. Kav is Kav cuts, it's limited, it's short, it has a certain definition. So how can we say that lo yayu kavamida? With Chaim Issa, that's first of all it says kavamida. The name is kavamida. With Chaim Issa, the Chaim says not only mida, the kav nimshach is mida mishka. It's Chaim uses the language that kav not only is it measured, it's also weight. So that's two words that describe the concept of limit. So the kav is limited. How can we say the earth, the Torah came from kav? Lo yalamid mishpat. Lo ad lo yav master. How can we say that? The kol makom earth the Torah earth shalel the kav amida. So the way the kav bichlal is kav amida. It's limited. It's measured. It's weight. Same time, he says the earth the Torah there's no kav amida. V'shleima. K'moya igunim shemshachem min hakav. Mekom kem lamayla mekhinas kav amid. Como shkos אבל כתר דמאס וככר ונויד תור מבחינת igunim. So that actually we started learning at the beginning of this sefer in the first mind. Even kav itself is stuck kavamido. It's limited and it's measured. But the kav also misagel. There's something called misagel. It turns into round ways of ashpa. And that way is in the to the kav. There's also igulim, which how can we explain this? That the kav itself, its function is to create a shtalshlus with measurement, with everything should be limited and structured. But he also in a way is mamsha. The kav is nimsha from the eagle agodel. So the kav also brings within him, in a hidden way, also the level of eagle, the level which is above measure and above limit and above weight. That's what it says in the third Toyu. The concept of Toyu is like igulim. It's around. What is around means something which is not measured. It's not defined. But Zel Adalay have a maskala. So that means when we say that Adalay have a maskala, before there was no measure, there was no weight, there's no scale. That in that stage of Elam Toyu, there was no, the earth were not in the way of mido mishkal, they were not measured and they were not weighed. The earth was abundant. That is why they did not face each other, which means the whole sphere, each sphere was, and now it takes us back to the regular way we usually explain the concept of Toyu. That in Toyu, each sphere, there was a each sphere was in a very strong, powerful expression. That's what it says. Only I will reign, nobody else. That's what it says in the story of the Zayin Melachim in the end of Vayishlach, when it describes the Elam Melachim Hashemalcha Be'eretz Sedem Difnei Melech Melech Bnei Sol, which is really referring to the two madrigas of Toyu. I mean, not really, but it's a Remez on Toyu. So there, the Indian Va'imlach Vayomas, only I can reign, nobody else. Right? So the Ribe Oyer means also when each sphere, the Oyer is very strong and powerful, it doesn't allow the other sphere. That's what it says of Va'imlach Vayomas. In order for the other king to become king, so the king before him Vayomas, he has to stop. He has to be miso, which means a hefsek. There has to be a separation in one sphere and the other. This is the way it was in Toyu. But Toyu Sha'aya, so that's it says. But Toyu Sha'aya Ribayas Oyer Lo Yefshal Yisatzil Sphere Acheres. Toyu, each sphere had a Riba Oyer, but there was such a strong oil, and one sphere so didn't allow the existence of the other sphere. והספיר עצמו, כל אחד ואחד רוצה לנוח בעצמו לבד. בעצמו דווקא. Didn't, each sphere wanted to be king, wanted to reign, and no emblem only itself, it doesn't allow the other spheres. Now he's going to reconcile it to what he said earlier. Earlier on the page, he said that the period, so if you think about it, there's a shtickle contradiction here. Earlier he said that the reason one sphere didn't tolerate each other because dinim ugvuris. It means a state of judgment. judgment and constraint. Here he says in Tzadri Be'oros, how do you, what, that's like, oh, it's two different explanations. It says, Mashan is by Elisha Prince Dinim Gvor, it's a flame of Samed Akeli. Or Mitzada Oil, Prince Libud. So the rationale usually is that the entire Eretz Merubim V'Keli Martim. In other words, the chisons on both sides, on the side of the Eretz and the side of the Keli. So the Ribe, he says, each one, the Kelim and the Eretz, had a certain quality that didn't allow the scholars and not only scholars, tolerance of the other sphere. The Melee says, the Melee, so we have two reasons why there's no scholars. So according to what we just said now, that there's really two different reasons and explanations why there was no scholars. There is the Eretz didn't tolerate each other with because these Eretz very strong. Because each Eretz is very strong, so it doesn't allow the other. Again, the easiest way to the easiest marshal is when people are getting together. If each one is in a very the state of Gerib Oil on a very simple level. Each one wants to talk. Each wants to express himself. So they can't talk. It's impossible because everyone wants to talk. So there's no communication. Everyone is talking. Everyone is expressing himself. So they can't talk. They can't relate to each other. Each one is expressing himself. So that is at the earth. The earth says said Riba Eir b'Shem Zel Vinit Makmas Fer Acheres. So the prince Yesh is down there. I'm the king. I'm in charge. So that means Riba Eir. Kelim Oyem Mitzad Dinim Gvos. First Eder Ashpor. In Kelim it's Kelim Mo'otim, which means verkehrt. The Kelim are in the state of Adara, but just disinterested. So let's say in the marshal we have. Bring a marshal, which is the most relatable marshal. Like I said, people get together. There may be two reasons why they can't communicate properly. They can't relate to each other properly. One is Riba Eires. Each one is in a state of pashtus. He's expressing himself in a full force. So he doesn't. The other one can't handle him. They can't interact. Then there's Keli means fakir. Keli means that each one is busy with himself. Each one is busy with his own being, so he's not interested in the other. So this are the two aspects of the fact that in Elam Atoyu there was no Lamajich and Apim Bapim. It's not like Eres, it's Ribe Eres. So that Kelim it's Ribe Adinim. Okay, there's blockage. So these are the two concepts of that. That's what happened in Elam Atoyu. Again, so Elam HaTorah is the opposite of Mishkal. There's no Mishkal. Actually, the meaning of Mishkal is the Geyamor in the Ribe Oiris. The meaning of Kelim, it says what in the Mishkal means Loyav and Maskim, the Oiris were not measured. The Oiris were Oiris Merubim, Kigul. Omnam Iker in a Maskala. What is the concept of the Maskala? Here's a Mishkal. Mishkal means there's a scale, there's a measure, there's a weight. What is there? That's the base kavin. The mishkal is in two separate and two kavin, like a scale. A scale has two sides and you measure. But Daniel, so it brings in like this. It says in Tanakh and Daniel, Simon Hey, the Pisa in Chaloim Belshatza. The Daniel is place of the Chalom of Belshatza. So in the Chalom of Belshatza it says Takal Uparsi. So I don't know what it means. So he saw in his dream on the wall that it says mana mana, not mana mana, menei scale farsi. That's the lashon of the pasuk. Was meint das Punkt? Let's see. It's like a so the right, what we always say, the writing on the wall. There's a writing on the wall that he saw. So the way it explains here is like this: name and name that the Cholim tells Belshazzar that the Eibishter appointed you, Mina, Elikim, Mina is Malchuscha, you'll stop it. Takal means it was bait, like I said. Then the Malchus will be broken. That is the writing on the wall that it said in Cholim Belshazzar. Now let's see. That's the Cholim itself. Where's the peace sign? The peace sign is Sham Pasuk Chav Zayin. Takalta b'maznai. So look in the Malbim. The Malbim says, what is takalta maznaya? Sheshakal schiyesa v'chayvaysa v'nimtza chasa ki yichi akav l'chayva alideza shebiza kliya elikim. It just why is it being here? Just to put an illustration what it means. What is the mishkal? That it said the lashon takal in Tanakh is that the Eibishter tells Belshazzar in the Cholam that his malchus, his reign was weighed, and he found that he's chassid, he's missing stuff. Well, the Marshal just brought it in as an illustration what maskal means. What does it mean? Going back to the practical thing, he started saying maskal and mishkal were base kavi. Like that's what I said. Kamal der Marshal kavma is 9. A scale. A weight. When you weigh things, weigh the two things one against the other. Yesh base mishkal. So the mitzat small. A regular weight, not electronic. We're talking about the regular way we weigh things. We have two. We have a scale, and that has two sides, right and left. If you want things should weigh equally, so there's a tongue in the middle that makes sure that they measure the same. You want two things should measure the same. So the lashon that's mechaven b'nei. The mele, that is the concept of maskal, the maznai. The lashon mishkal, actually the tongue. How do you? This.
The needle in the middle.
Yeah, in our thing it's called a meter, but I forgot what it looks like in. I don't know exactly. I have to find a picture of it. The graph, what you're talking about. Does the lush and Amishla Nikamaka Shoika made them
Is it the stick that holds the two thighs?
It's not the stick. It looks like it sounds like there's something in between them.
Yeah, there is a needle that shows that if it's
Okay, needle,
in,
right.
in the
Okay,
middle.
you're talking in a more sophisticated. See, in the needle, problem is in the needle, you don't need two sides. The needle is just a needle. The needle shows you. Yeah, maybe in one of the mishkalos, there's a needle that shows you that it's equal.
Exactly. Yes. If it's in the middle, then it is mechuan. If it goes to the one side, that shows the other side is lower, heavier. Right.
So we have the mishkal, and there's the lashna moiznai. So again, what he's telling us basically is the two sides, and then there's the one in between, which makes sure that they are measured properly, they are equal. That's the point. That the one in the middle makes sure that they're equal. In the Lamaila, what is the concept of the Lashon Amaznaim? The tongue in the middle, what do they call it? The needle, which tells us that they're equal. Upchinas hadas. That is the concept of das. Like we say every day, the two opposite views, and in order to make them parallel, make them equal, there's something in between that combines them. That's called das. Don't forget that this maimah started with the pasuk that's related to das. P das. So this is the concept he's going to deal with a little bit. What's das? Bi'o'inyanu. Isa be'ida rabbi d'chavom aleph brings in another Kabbalah text. Either rabbi, like it said once, that either rabbi in Zayah Pashas Nosei, there's either rabbi the big farbrengen that Rashbi had with all his Talmidim. Big celebration, Mishte, and there was a lot of Seides HaTorah in his gal. So here it says, "Be'inyan klas halolim the Golgotha dezo." That the Golgotha dezo again. So he's gonna quote Rosh from Kabbalah, and then hopefully we'll start to decipher it. There's something called Golgotha dezo, the skull of Zo, and that skull has three chambers, three halolim, three open spaces. What are these three? Golgotha. So we speak in the skull. The skull is usually in the human body. The skull is a place that contains the brain. The same thing in the nimshul. So these three halolim, these three spaces, and given Meichel Chabad. So it says over there, Moyach HaChochmen Scharlech Lamed Beis Nesivis Shvilin. In these three chambers, these three spaces, there's a difference in them. Moyach HaChochma breaks down 32 pets. Moyach HaBina Mischalek L'Nun Shor. Moyach HaBina is breaking down 50. So this is 32, this is 50. But Moyach HaDas Nafkin Elef Alofin Idlin Vachsad. Moyach HaDas has it's a million. That's what it says. A million rooms and chambers. Because of the das chadorim imlo, the lashon pasuk is Hashem b'chachma yasad eretz, kain el shamayim b'tvuna, b'das chadorim imlo. The das fills up these rooms, the chambers. So we have a visual description Das versus the other two. Chachma has 32, Bina is 50, but Das, Elef Alof, which now in our mother language is called a million. So basically it means that the breakdown in a lot of chambers is a result of Das. Okay, all right, 8 o'clock, we'll continue tomorrow. Does anybody know what happened to Tachtel? Is he okay?
I don't have any idea.
What was the question? I missed that. Anybody know what?
What happened to Shlomo Tachtel? He doesn't respond.
Didn't he join yesterday?
Oh, he did? I didn't see him. Oh, he did? I didn't see him.
I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining.
I missed him. Okay, maybe. Okay. All right, fine. So I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Somebody tried to reach him?
I didn't.
I tried asking him something on WhatsApp, but it didn't open it. Anyway, all right. Okay, Danny, I wasn't in the office yesterday also. Hopefully today I'll get something.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you. I appreciate it. Thank you.